And thank you for allowing us to go and for not being upset at us when we leave. He's planted us here, but there's still many things that he wants to do with us outside of here too. So we're grateful. We're really grateful to you guys for your support during the times when we're gone also.
Well, right off the bat, as soon as when they made a call, they had a call for the veterans to come to protect the people. I don't know if any of you have seen, but there was excessive use of police brutality against old men, women, and children, the elders. Freezing water being blasted on them in sub-zero conditions, tear gas, rubber bullets. One girl who came to our tent that we were able to pray for, she lost an eye as a result of this. A lot of the media doesn't show any of this, but it was uncalled for. Many of us who served in the military, that was the line that was crossed. We said, how can this be happening? It's 2016, these are unarmed men, women, and children. This is like Wounded Knee all over again. So we had to go to protect them. Our oath of enlistment has no expiration date. So we let it be known that we were going to go. Immediately there's fellow veterans who called me a terrorist and a false prophet for deciding to go to Standing Rock. People don't judge. Don't judge when you don't know what the Lord's calling somebody to do. Because we're going to share with you what God did while we were out there. And if we hadn't gone, what would have been the results? I don't know if these things would have happened or not. Romans 10:13-14 says, everyone who calls on the name of Yahweh will be delivered. How can they call on someone if they haven't trusted in him? And how can they trust in someone if they haven't heard about him? And how can they hear about someone if no one is proclaiming him? My flesh wanted to say, why don't you go out there? The harvest is ripe out here. This is a camp of anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people. It was 10,000, but since the winter came in, it was very cold. And it was a mixed bag. Atheists, agnostics, there was Wiccans, there was hippies. We ran into a few believers here and there, but what better place to go? The harvest was ripe. And so we went.
I'll tell you, one of the things that impressed me was that there were people from all walks of life, and they had premises and foundations of peaceful interaction, everybody was so polite. Everyone was so polite. If they bumped into you, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. If they saw you needed help, can I help you? And I'll tell you, it just I felt like we as the body of Messiah were kind of put to shame, because that was the friendliest place that I've been in a long, long time. And I thought, this is a worldly place. But I'll tell you what I think enabled that to occur is the fact that the foundation for that place was called and laid down by a believer.
Antoine, American Horse, and his wife, Verilia, American Horse. Back in March, it was just those two and 4 others that started that camp. And when we got there, American Horse said, come by and see me. Because he's the chief of that camp. He said, come by and see me. And we went by and saw him, and this is American Horse here. He's a 28-year Navy SEAL veteran, retired. And him and his wife, spirit-filled believers, are the ones that the Lord said, start this camp. No more am I going to deal with broken treaties against my people. And so they started this camp. So the spiritual head of this camp, even though there was every walk of life and people and religion and no religion, the spiritual foundation was laid by spirit-filled people. And that's what set the tone for everything there. These are the war horses from the camp defending the rights to their treaties. And we serve a God of covenant, man. He doesn't break treaties. He doesn't break promises with us. And so what was taking place there, and we wanted also to see with our own eyes, what is happening here? Is there broken treaties taking place? And yes, there is. There's a lot of disinformation out there about what's happening.
A lot. that.
This is one of the first signs that I saw coming into the camp. We're instrumental reclaiming earth under Creator's law. 1. God. I was like, whoa. And right from the beginning in Genesis, God gave Adam instructions to take care of the earth. We look in Revelation 18? I think it's Revelation 18. When the trumpets are blown and God says the time has come to destroy those who have destroyed the earth. We are supposed to be caretakers of the earth because God made it and we're to take care of it. So this is rollout day. It was really early in the morning. And that's about all the room that we had in there. We took a video and we could not see Maria in the back of the truck.
That scripture reference you were looking for is Revelation 11:18.
Yeah, Revelation 11:18. Will you read it?
And it's when the seventh shofar is blown in the third woe. And it says, the goyim, the nations, raged. But now your rage has come, the time for the dead to be judged, the time for rewarding your servants the prophets and your holy people, those who stand in awe of your name, both small and great. It is also the time for destroying those who destroy the earth. We are caretakers of this earth. We are supposed to be taking care of it. You know, there's technology out there that we could be using that is not as destructive and dirty. And we should be reserving the oil for what it's needed for. It should be our backup supply. And this is a time of shifting in the earth. You know, we should be using the resources that the Lord gave us. He gave us the knowledge for solar power. He gave us the knowledge for wind power, for water and wave power. And those are being underutilized because of greed. And it's just as simple as that. And we have an obligation to take care of it and to steward what He's given us. Because if the water becomes dirty, what are we going to use? What are we going to use? This is the water that the Lord gave us, a renewable resource. So it's sad, in my opinion, it's sad that believers have not taken this as seriously as they should. This is something that we are supposed to, this is part of our believers' responsibility, and yet what do I see out there? I see Wiccans and pagans,
the New Agers take it.
New Agers standing up for something that is a responsibility that has been given to us by the Lord. And I just want to encourage our brothers and sisters to take that responsibility to heart and do whatever you can. You know, I didn't always feel this way about it. This is something that the Lord has changed my heart about. And it's something that I desire. You know, if I had purchased our vehicle, I would be purchasing a hybrid. But the Lord was wonderful to gift us something. But, you know, allow the Lord to work on your heart about these issues, because it's important to Him.
So, you didn't see that one yet? So the only time that we could see Maria in the back seat was when she smiled.
She's the one who made that joke, so
Yeah.
Don't worry, she's not offended by it.
So the truck was completely packed, and even also on the top. And this is our tent right here. Right, this is my Army jungle hat. Within 15-20 minutes, it was frozen into a frisbee. My eagle feathers were like arrowheads. I mean, it was so cold.
So when I was talking to someone beforehand, they seemed interested in the conditions in which we found ourselves, so I'll share that with everybody. We found a tent on sale, and we had purchased it for Sukkot, but we didn't end up opening it at Sukkot. And it was on sale, and we thought, oh great, wow, $100 off? Yes, we will buy this. So, because we had not opened it up yet,
we didn't realize that it had a mesh roof.
It was netting.
It was netting. It was designed to see the stars while you sleep. So we had no roof on our tent.
Well, we did have the rain catching thing that sits about this far. There's this much air space all around the roof of the tent from the rain catcher. It's nice if you wanted ventilation.
Right.
However, that was not our top priority in this place.
The generator didn't work. The spark plug went bad. We had no power going to our tent. It was -30 wind chill. So everybody up here from Minnesota who's like, are you going to be able to handle the cold? Well, we handled it with sleeping bags and blankets in -30-degree weather. And I told the Lord in the midst of all these accusations of false prophet and you terrorists going out there to do this, I said, Lord, even if just one comes to know who you are, all of this is worth it.
I had a higher standard. I was like, Lord, if I'm going to be out here, please let it be more than one. Please let it be more than one. I'll take as many as you want.
Jonathan came with us. He's not here today. Jonathan is one who just moved up here 2 weeks ago. The Lord told him, he's from Alabama, he said, you need to pack up your things and move to Detroit Lakes because God's going to do something in Minnesota and I want you there. So he packed up all his stuff and moved up. And so we took him to the camp. And then again, you can see the tent behind us, covered in snow, collapsed on us once. But he was a trooper as well. It was wonderful having him there. And then these two, Maria and Xander. So Maria actually had a prophetic dream about this road with all the flags.
She told it to me probably 2 or 3 months ago. It was probably 2 months ago, right? She told me about this dream, and usually I can interpret dreams. The Lord gives me the interpretation. And this one, I was just like, I don't know what this dream means. I was like, pray about it. Well, the reason why he didn't give me the interpretation, I think, was because it was a prophetic dream. And she saw these 2 lines of flags and some other stuff.
And as soon as we rolled into the camp, and we're like, Maria, there's the road full of flags from your dream. And she was just like, ah! So, and then Xander came out with us. He was also working on his science project for his school.
That was why we brought him.
Yeah, so we brought him out there,
And I just want to report how proud we are of him because he got 2nd place. He took 2nd place at the science fair.
So he gets to go to NASA.
So he's going to Alabama, NASA's program.
Yeah.
So.
And that's wonderful, especially for the Pine Point community. Pine Point community is, and we'll show you some of the pictures from there. It's one of the roughest villages in the White Earth Nation. And Xander's just this bright, shining light, and so is Maria and the rest of her kids there. So yeah, absolutely, and Jason. And we were just blessed to have them with us, especially for a first-time missions trip. The conditions that we were under were horrendous, but not once did they complain, not once did they say anything negative. They just trooped on right through. So here's a...
It's amazing with the difficulty of physical conditions, how there was such a lack of grouch. There was no grouch factor. So.
No grouch factor. Here's another picture of our tent. We were able to get a tarp to cover the mesh roof. That maybe made a difference of 1 degree. And this is one that I was able to address the people. There's a place where it was called the Sacred Fire. Good day to you, fellow warriors. My name is Joseph Riverwind. I'm the war chief of the Arawak Nation. My people are the ones who discovered Columbus wandering lost in the ocean. It's all our fault, man. you can stone me right here. Throw the rocks right here. But I want you to know that the Arawak people stand in solidarity with the Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota people, and all the indigenous people, not just of Turtle Island, but all over the world. And I wanted to express as the war chief of my tribe, I war for peace. My time of battle is over. I served in the U.S. Army for many years, 3 enlistments. At the behest of my grandfather, it was a family tradition. My clan is Jaguar. We were the elite warriors that protected the village while the women and children could get away whenever we were attacked. And I just want to express my heart to you all here. I'm not going to talk politics. Poly means many and ticks are bloodsuckers, so I'm not going there. We're all human beings, right? And you're human doing by being here. But I want you to know that all the veterans that are coming, that we're not here to start a war. We didn't begin the war. Like I said, the native Holocaust began with my tribe. Began with my people and then ended over here with the Lakota at Wounded Knee. And now we see that it's still a continuing battle. But we're not here for our own agenda. We're here for the people. We're here for the host people of the land. Let's not forget whose land this is. We're just guests. Even all the natives that come from all over these different nations and tribes, we're guests on the host nation's land. And we come here in a manner of peace. We're not here to start a war. We're not here to start a fire. We're here to link arms with everybody in a peaceful manner. Because our prayers are more powerful than any bullet or bomb that can be dropped. And you see that where in the history of our nation, many thought that our people are defeated. But this does not look like defeat. This is not defeat. These are the feet of the nations coming. Every nation, every tribe, every language. So please rest assured that, yes, we have veterans that suffer from PTSD. We have veterans that have different issues and problems, but we will not allow those guys to come to that front line. And this is where every day the people would gather together for announcements, for news. The elders would come and speak. And the chiefs and leaders would come and speak every morning, early in the morning. Because this is a traditional Ocheti Sakoan camp, which means the camp of the seven fires. Traditionally, there's what's called a camp singer. And this person will sing until the sun comes up. And it's a way of honoring God and thanking Creator. As the Lakota called him, Tomkashila, the great mystery. And so they sing the camp awake. They sing the sun up, is how they say it. But they're not singing to the sun, but the one who created the sun and caused the sun to rise. And I tell you, when you're exhausted, it's 2 in the morning, and you finally figured out how to get warm. And then at 5:30 you hear, Hoka, hey, wake up! I'm like, no, please! And not now! I'm trying to sleep, why? And then I remembered where I was, and I was like, this is a Lakota camp. He's singing the sun awake. I'm not going to criticize his worship. Earplugs. So that worked out good. There were people in the camp, there were dapple infiltrators, as we call them, who really tried to instill fear in the people. There was a lot of fear that when the veterans got there, that we were going to start something and we were going to charge the barricade and start a war with the police. You know, and we sat there listening to this over the loudspeakers. And I told Laurel, I said, I need to go over there and set this straight. Because they're operating in a spirit of fear, because that's not why the veterans came. And that was one of the concerns, because there's one camp that is an instigating camp. They're the ones who would start things with the police. And the veterans were afraid that we would become, as we call in the military, a meat shield for the bullets and the tear gas and everything that the police would shoot at us if they instigated. But we were willing to take that. But I was able to speak about Yeshua and Chief Cornerstone in the spirit of peace in the camp, that we were not coming there for war, but we were coming there in a peaceful support of the camp, the Lakota people.
Joseph was put first on guard duty, and they brought, as people were coming through, they would inspect the cars for contraband, and they were able to intercept weapons and ammunition,
drugs, alcohol,
and
meth.
keep them out of the camp. Which could have, that could have turned really bad.
Yeah.
You know, if they had not.
All it takes is one idiot.
Yeah.
One village idiot and just ruin everything.